Hey fellow problem solvers, Colfax Math here. Today's video is for the ASVAB 2024. It is a mathematical knowledge review exam. I got a few problems here. What I'd highly recommend you do is have notebook and pencil out, pause the video, try and do the problem, and then watch how I do the problem. I won't explain them completely, but I'll go through them, hopefully refreshing a lot of those math ideas. You could get a lot more information at ASVAB-tutoring.com. It's a great app. You could download it on your phone. Started. First one, what is the area of a parallelogram if its length is x plus 3 and its height is x minus 5? So we'll put that and that down. This is different than the arithmetic reasoning. You actually have to have these ideas down from a math class. So a parallelogram is a pair of parallel sides and another set of parallel sides. Area of a parallelogram is going to be the base times the height, and that height is actually outside of the parallelogram. I mean, it could be this, but it is not the height of the diagonal. So it's x plus 3 times the height of x minus 5. I have to multiply those together. X plus 3 times x minus 5. So not only do I need to know what a parallelogram is, I need to know what the equation for area of a parallelogram is, and then I need to know how to multiply expressions together. So the way I multiply this together, sometimes you use the acronym FOIL, which means you multiply the first terms, then the outer terms, then the inner terms, and then the last terms together. So if I multiply the first terms together, I get an x squared. The outer terms are negative 5x. The inner terms are 3x to give me a 2x. So I have negative 5x plus 3x, negative 2x. From there, I'm going to look over and see if there's only one solution. There is. The only one that's going to work is answer D. But just to show you the last terms together are 3 times negative 5, which is negative 15. So that's the solution there. Okay, next problem. Simplify 3/5 x plus 1x. So you got to know this is 1 over 1. I am adding fractions together. The way I add fractions, I have to have a common denominator. So that common denominator is going to be 5. This is an expression, meaning there's no equal sign. So the only thing I could do here is multiply it by factors of 1. So I'm going to multiply that second term by 1. That 1 is 5 over 5, right? They have the equal weight in the numerator denominator, so that whole thing's equal to 1. That's going to give me 3/5 x, that's that term, plus, now I have 5/5 x. And the whole reason I did that is to get that common denominator. Doesn't matter if you put that x in the numerator or if you put it there in front of the fraction. Now that I have that common denominator, I add across the top to get 8x. Right, I have 3 of these x's plus 5 of these x's to get 8x. On the bottom, I just keep that common denominator of 5, and there's my answer. 8x over 5, correct answer, answer C. Okay, next problem. What are the factors of this quadratic right here? The reverse of factoring is multiplying them together, and the mnemonic device we use for that to remember it is FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. And then I'll explain how I get my signs here. So I multiply my first terms together to get x squared, my outer terms together to get x, my inner terms together to get 3x. Then I'm going to add or subtract those. And then my last terms together. So first, outer, inner, last. So I have x squared, and I have a 3 at the end. Then I have to pick signs to get a 3. right? So either these two symbols have to both be positive or both negative, because negative times negative also equals a 3. I'll try a positive and a positive. Now I'm going to use that FOIL to check my work. X squared plus 1x plus 3x is 4x plus 3 is 3, right? So there are my factors, x plus 3, x plus 1, answer B right there. We're going to talk more about this idea of factoring quadratics or taking two quantities and multiplying them together with FOIL. That's a really big algebra idea. All right, next problem. Okay, best way to do these problems is pause the video and try and figure them out on your own. Unpause the video and then watch how I do it. Right here, I'm going to have a quadratic as well, and you can see the factors here. So if you just kind of getting your head around what I was talking about a couple problems ago, go ahead and try and work your way through this. Factor this and see if you can come up with the correct answer. Make sure you have paper and pencil in front of you. Okay, so I'm going to look at this. First thing I'm going to do on this one is see if there's anything here I can eliminate. So the only factors of 2x squared are going to be a 2 and a 1 and an x and an x, right? So let me see if I can eliminate any answers here. That one's going to not work because that's going to give me 3x squared. That'll give me 2x squared, and that'll give me 2x squared. So I could only eliminate one answer. Then let me go to the end. Only factors at 3y squared are a 3y and a y. That's going to give me 3y squared. I'm going to have to work on my signs to get a negative. One will have to be positive, one negative. So now that I know one has to be positive and one negative, let's see if I could eliminate some more answers. That one's out because they're both negative. And then it's going to be one of these two. So if I'm going to just try a negative and a positive here, I'm using that same method FOIL. 2x squared minus this times this, 3xy, plus 2xy. So that's going to give me 2x squared minus 3xy plus 2xy minus 3y squared. I combine these middle terms to get negative 1xy. That is not correct. I have positive xy there. So what I have to do is that means there has to be a positive here and a negative here. Now I have 2x squared plus 3xy minus 2xy gives me that positive minus 3y squared. So there's my correct answer right there. I look down there, 2x plus 3y, 1x minus 1y, correct answer, answer C. Next problem, what is 5x times that? So what I'm saying here is I have 5x times the quantity 3x squared minus 5. It's a little different. I don't have a quantity times a quantity. I just have one thing out front. So that means I just got to distribute that through the whole quantity because there's an addition or subtraction sign here. 5x times 3x squared is 15x. I add my exponents to get 3. See if I can eliminate any answers here. I could cross out those two. And then my next term is minus 25x. So there it is right there. Answer D right there. Again, pause the video, do the problem, and watch how I do it. What is the length of the diagonal of a rectangle? So let me turn that paragraph or that sentence into a picture with a base of 4 and an altitude of 3. There's that diagonal. Definition of a rectangle is right angles. So I have a right triangle where I have one leg, the other leg. I'm looking for a hypotenuse. I have to use the Pythagorean theorem. I take one leg squared plus the other leg squared is equal to, I don't know what that is, so I'm going to call it C, the hypotenuse squared. 4 squared is 16. 3 squared is 9, equals C squared. 9 and 16 is 25, equals C squared. Square root of each side, that'll get rid of that square. Square root of 25 is plus or minus 5. However, it can't be a negative, so I have to keep the 5. So C is equal to 5. Correct answer, oh, coincidentally, C. This problem right here, what is the sum? That's a key word right there. Sum means to add. So this is not going to be a FOIL, even though I have like x squareds and all those terms. I'm adding them together. So I just need to line them up. So the first term is this right here, 3x to the third, nothing x squared minus 2x plus 8. My second term after that is this right here. I want to line up my x squareds. There are no x squareds in my first one, so I'm going to put this right here, 2x squared plus 5x. Then my third term is this one right here in green. So that's a x to the third plus 2x squared. Ooh, got a little delay on my But 4x squared, that's the square. 4x squared, I could cross out these two answers and see that it's answer A and be done there. But I'll just keep going, show you how it's done. Negative 2x, negative 3x, that's negative 5x, positive 5x, that cancels. 8 and negative 3 is 5. So I have 4x to the third, 4x squared plus 5, correct answer, answer A. Okay, if you're new to the channel, think about subscribing. If you're studying for the ASVAB and you have other friends who are doing the same thing, share the video with them. The more you study, the better you get. There's a lot riding on that exam, so I put the time in and really do the work. All right, if x is equal to 4, which of the following does not equal 9? So I'm going to take that 4 and just plug it in through a process of elimination. I take that 4 there, plug it in there. 3 times 4, 12. 12 minus 3, that's equal to 9. Take that 4, plug it in there, 4 and 5, that's equal to 9. Take that 4, plug it in there, 4 minus 13, negative 9. That is not equal to 9. There's my correct answer. Just as a check right here, plug the 4 in there, 4 times 2, 8, plus 1, 9. Only one that is not equal to 9, C. The reciprocal of 3 1/5 is, so a reciprocal is a fraction that you turn over. So this is a mixed number. It has an integer and a fraction to it. First thing I have to do is turn it into improper fraction, and then I'm going to flip it over. The way I do that is I take the whole number times the bottom number, so 3 times 5, 15, plus that number, 16, and I get 16/5. So 3 1/5 is the equivalent of 16/5. Now I find the reciprocal of it. I flip this over to get 5 over 16. Correct answer, answer C right there. If x plus 3y equals 7 and y is equal to 2, then x equals. So it's basically saying I have two equations, two variables. I'm giving you what one variable is, find the other one. I'm just going to take that value of y, plug it in for y, so plug it in there. So I have x plus 3 times y, which I know is 2, equals to 7. X plus 6 equals 7. Subtracting 6 from both sides, x is equal to 1. Correct answer, answer A. Now I'm going pretty fast through a lot of these. The goal here isn't to really teach you a lot of math. The goal is really to give you sample problems to see how much you remember. And then you might have to go back and watch some videos on how to solve equations or how to factor quadratics. But I'm hoping this helps. I know certainly the more problems you do, the better you get at them, the more you know what to expect in any standardized math exam. The area of a triangle with a base of 8 feet and a height of 4 feet. So again, I'm going to turn that sentence into a picture. So it's base of 8, height of 4. You need to know the area of a triangle. Area of a triangle is base times height, base times height divided by 2. So I got 8 times 4, 32, divided by 2, 16. So correct answer is C, 16 square feet. That square feet is because this is feet and this is feet. So I have feet times feet, which give me the square feet. Let's say I didn't draw the triangle like a right triangle. I just drew it like this. 8 with a height of 4 like that. Area of that triangle as well is still 8 times 4 divided by 2. So all triangles are base times height divided by 2. Okay, next problem. Graph of the following equations are straight lines except. So that's the key word right there. Which one is not a straight line? So if I don't really know how to do that, I'm just going to look for similarities in my solutions. Well, here I have a singular xy. Here I have a singular y, but an x squared. That's different. X and y are singular, x and y are singular. So the only one that's really different than the others is this one with a squared. And that's the correct answer, answer B. These are straight lines. A little increase in y leads to a little increase in x. This is actually a parabola. And I could graph this if I wanted to by just picking values of x and y. When x is 0, I just pick any number like 0, plug it in there. 0 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. So I could graph that point over 0 up 3. Picked a value like 1. 1 squared plus 3, 4. Or negative 1, that would be the same thing. Negative 1 squared, positive 1 plus 3 is 4. 2. 2 times 2, 4 plus 3, 7. 3 would be 9 plus 3, 12. So I could see a constant increase in x is leading to an increase in y. Plus 1, plus 3, plus 5. So it goes here, but then it goes up steeply and increases at an increasing rate. The negatives are going to be the same, so it's going to look like that. So this is the only one that is not a straight line. It's a parabola. If 4/3 times 3/4 equals 5k, find k. When we multiply these together, I could cancel first. Cancel that with that to get 1 is equal to 5k. Or if I don't cancel, I have 4 times 3, 12, over 3 times 4, 12. 12 over 12 still reduces to 1. Remember, multiplying fractions is a lot easier than adding them. Multiplying, you just go across the top, across the bottom. Adding, you need that common denominator. So now I have 1 is equal to 5k. I got to get that k by itself. Divide both sides by 5. Those 5 cancels. I have k by itself. K is equal to 1/5. Correct answer, answer A. Okay, A is equal to 6. B is equal to 5. What is the value of this? So I just take that value for A, plug it in here. Take that value for B, plug it in here. So I got 6 squared, 36, minus B squared. B is 5 minus 25. Right, so I got my A squared minus B squared, all to that power of 2. Order of operations is parentheses before exponents. Mnemonic device to remember is PEMDAS. I know I got a couple of these here. Might not have seen them since high school. Do your parentheses first, then your exponents, then your multiplication or division from left to right, then your addition or subtraction from left to right. So I have to do my parentheses first. 36 minus 25 is 11. That whole quantity squared. 11 squared is 121. Correct answer, answer B right there. Okay, next problem. This little arrow sign is an inequality. It is not equals, it's an inequality, almost equal to. If it had a line in addition to it, it would be less than or equal to. And the way you solve inequalities is just like an equation. Everything's the same except for there's one key rule with inequalities. When you multiply or divide by a negative, you switch that sign. So you multiply or divide by a negative, it goes from that to that, or that to that. It goes reversed. So I have negative 2x plus 8 is less than 30. My goal is to get x by itself. I subtract 8 from both sides. That gives me negative 2x is less than 22. Still solving for x. Right here I'm adding, so I subtract to reverse it. Here I'm multiplying, so I divide to reverse it. And I'm dividing by a negative. Ding, 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 right? Those cancel. That gives me x by itself. 22 divided by negative 2, negative 11. That ding, ding, ding was saying divide by a negative, reverse that sign. So that now becomes greater than. X is greater than negative 11. Correct answer, answer C. If you're still there, good job for sticking with it. I know it's turning into a long practice test, but if you're doing it, you're going to improve your scores. Just keep. All right, well done. There it is. If you want more help, you could go to this webpage right here. There's a tutoring app you can use. A lot of resources here you could go to. The more you study, the better you do. Thank you for watching.